How's it going, everybody? So, welcome to today's live. It's just a live training. And, I've been considering some of the things that have been happening with me in my business, and then also the business that I have with a friend who is now turned into a podcast co host. Some of you may know him, some of you know me. His name is Nick V. And for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Gus, and so I've been working as a video producer and content creator for businesses, for coaches, for online trainings, as well as authors. And now been dedicated myself to building a business with Nick Vujicic, who is also the co-host of our podcast and a friend for the past 12 years. And if you don't know who he is, it's the motivational limbless speaker who's also a New York Times bestselling author. And so this is one of the frameworks that I've personally used for myself as well as for clients and even our own businesses. And it's a crucial thing for us to have something that we can look at as we're trying to build out our content, trying to build out a business. And I mean, if we're honest, we got to just face it that businesses are now run on content, and not just any content. It's content that has a face to it. And so if you're trying to have if you even bother for a moment at any given time and you are scrolling and you see products, or you see digital businesses, or actually brick and mortar businesses, or even what have you, is that the ones that do well are the ones that build a personality behind their products. It's people who have a face behind the name. And it's because one of the things that I believe in, and then I want to give to you, is very simple. It's that we need to get back to or refocus on people to people marketing. It's very important for our businesses. And what I mean by that is that if you are the founder, maybe consider being the face of what you're doing. And because at the end of the day, you as a founder or the CEO or the one who has the drive and the mission behind what's happening in your business, you carry the vision and you know exactly what you want to say, how you want to say it. And maybe you're not good on camera. That's okay. I think it's good for you to even be side by side with someone. And anyways, that's just a whole different conversation that we can talk about another day. And that's my hope with founders and CEOs, is to help them and train them and consult them on that type of idea, to get them to be the face. Because again, you have that heart, you have the passion, you have the mission. It's your business. You carry something about that business that others don't. So without further ado, just want to look at this simple PDF that I've created for you. I'm sorry, right here I haven't corrected it. It says Spark. So this is my Creative Business Flywheel, and it's a plug and play framework. You can take it. I can eventually add a link in the comments below in the section, and it's for you to download it. But regardless, it's very easy to understand and to work off of. So the whole point is to turn curiosity into clarity, clarity into action, action into momentum with this 6-step business flywheel. So the whole point of a flywheel, if you've never considered using one for your business, it's just that it's a process that you start. And for me, I start that process right here at the Spark. Again, it says Spark under that. And then the whole point is that you can go and recycle it. In other words, repeat it, do it all over again. I have one right here in front of me for YouTube content that I've using. I've adapted from someone else and added my own pieces to it as well. But that's the whole point of a flywheel. You start somewhere, and the whole point of it is that you can start from one process, continue on, and then be able to do it all over again, either with the same piece of long form content, and you can create those long pieces of content into shorter contents anyways. But the whole point is that you're able to start all over again. And that's the whole point of a flywheel. Again, so let me just break this 2 simple words down that maybe we're used to talking about in business or at meetings, and it's systems and processes. So basically, if you look at it here, spark, frame, create, distribute, refine, and scale, those are just titles to help our minds, my mind, with the system. So this is basically the system right here. But the process or the processes or however you want to pronounce it is the action steps that are taken within there. So the systems is the visual, it's the framework, it's the 1, 2, 3, 4. But the processes are the 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, and 2.1, etc. You get the idea. And so that's what this is for, so that you have a starting point every single time. So if you want, you could even take it a day a week and say, okay, this is what we're doing today, and that make it easy. So that way your team or you're locked in. You're locked in exactly on, and you know exactly what day it is. You know exactly what step you're on. You know exactly what's happening today. Or you can break down your hours throughout the day, however you want to do it, and just make it make sense to you. So most entrepreneurs think that business is like a straight line, so it's idea, build, launch, repeat. But momentum happens when you treat your business like a flywheel. So each step feeds the next. Okay, that's the whole point of it. You can create your own flywheels for your business. You already know those things which are like, hey, these are the things we do every week. So create a flywheel for yourself, for your team, and get the main points as the systems, that which is on the outside of the circle, if you will. And then your processes are the action steps within each of those steps. So each step feeds the next, creating compound growth. So this is my creative flywheel. It helps you consistently turn ideas into action, and action into results, and results into systems at scale. And so anyways, the reason why, just a little bit of backstory, the reason why this PDF document is like this, because I've created it as a simple document that you can have on your iPad or print out and fill in the blanks. And so with that being said, let's just go into the first one. So stage 1 is spark. It's basically the curiosity and the questions, because if you just pause for a moment, your business, my business, many businesses started because of curiosity, not because we had a genius plan, not because anybody knew that what they had was gold. Now granted, I think we all think, I don't know, I've said this to myself, and maybe you've said this to yourself. This is good. This is it. This is the plan. This is the deal, or this is the thing that's going to make us blow up. Like, this is the thing. And so I get that. That's awesome. And I love having that excitement and having that faith and hope. But at the same time, it starts with curiosity and questions. So in other words, every great business starts with a spark, and normally we ask these types of questions. So what's possible? What am I missing? Or what is this missing? Or who needs this? So use competitor analysis and industry research to uncover opportunities. For example, simple things, and this is usually what happens, is like you'll find this. This is, just show you exactly what this is. This is microphones for the iPhone for content creation. So you can find anything in front of you if you have that type of, if you have that mentality or capacity even this moment, and be like, okay, what's possible with this? What is it missing? What is it missing that I need? What is it missing that somebody else needs? And who needs this? And usually you can take things like that and already just begin to change it. And you could do the same thing with content. It's like, okay, and I think becoming a content creator or video producer, and having seen and created and edited and produced and scripted so many content throughout the past 10, 15 years that I've been doing this, I can get in this mode of like, that's, if this person had that, then that would be gold, or that would be even so much more. If they had this at the back end, or if they actually started with this instead of putting that in the middle, all those things, and we can what's it called? Break down some of those things that we see, or even that we create ourselves, and think to ourselves, I could actually make this a little bit better for a moment. So simple action steps is list 5 big questions about your market, specifically about your content, specifically if it's content that you're building, if it's courses that you sell, if it's digital products, if it's physical products. Ask questions about your market, or you can ask your market directly. And then research 3 competitors and identify their gaps. Again, same thing, asking questions, the curiosity and the questions. It's what's possible with this? What's missing from this? And an example is, as an entrepreneur exploring a new market, creates a question list and competitor analysis framework. So that's That could be you. You could be the entrepreneur exploring the market and taking something that exists or taking something that someone has put out there and think to yourself, okay, how can I make that actually better? Or how can I take what they've done, they've created, or this product and so on, and just actually improve on it or make it better or make a new one altogether. And so, again, simple little things in regards to sparking curiosity. Again, for me and my clients, whether it's consulting or actually doing the thing with them and for them, it starts with curiosity. It's like, all right, who are your competitors when it comes to content? What are they saying that you agree with, that you don't agree with? And in that point, now you can start making it better. You can add on it, or you can change it. You can change the narrative. You can come with your own opinion. And I think for the most part, that's the content that does the most or the best, is when you come in with a different way of thinking. Whatever platform it is that even right now you're watching on, there is a certain way that content is being presented on the platform that you're on, and you can take it and you know exactly what type of person is on that content or that type of platform. Like, for example, it's probably not the best thing to try to put B2B content on TikTok, because those are mainly consumers. Those are not so much business. So people put their products on there, put their content on there to try to get people to drive sales to their courses, their shirts, their whatever, their products and so on. But again, you know the platform, you know who your audience is. If it's B2B, I think it's a great time to start posting on LinkedIn if you haven't already. Okay. And stage 2, frame. So from that, taking those questions then is, so here's a simple thought, is that ideas die without structure, and frameworks give clarity and direction. So use checklists, outlines, and dashboards and organize your thoughts. I think for me, I love all that stuff. I love the checklist. I love the outlines. I love the dashboards. I love using Notion, and I love seeing the Kanban board and just seeing everything in front of me and what step and what's layered within each step and so on. And I just love seeing it like that. And you can do that for whatever one of those things. Again, there's more, obviously. Okay, what makes sense for what you're making? If it's a checklist, use the checklist for your processes. It's like, okay, I'm in the process of creating now, and now you have a checklist of, okay, create script, shorten script, prepare the gear, whatever it might be, schedule the recording date, whatever, or record the thing, edit the thing, send the thing to the editor, whatever it is. It's so that you can see it and visually see it, and you know exactly where you are in the step, exactly where you are in the stage. So turn your idea into 3 categories or tiers. Sketch an outline of phases or milestones. Example, building a Notion dashboard. Again, this is what I love using, is Notion dashboard to track your projects and steps. Again, take what you're doing and break it down. Break it into categories. Simple categories is just the simplest way, and I think even Notion gives this to you in a what's it called? Just as a default, is idea or in progress, has, or how do they say it? Like idea, in progress, and archived or finished, and so on. You can just break it down into tiers of where you are in categories and so on, or you can even go from idea to script to content to creating to publish and so on. You can do that. Again, these are the stages that I have right here are spark, frame, create, distribute, refine, and scale. And right now we're talking about frame. And the reason why frame is one of the most crucial ones is because you take what you have in the stage of the spark and the curiosity, and now you begin to flesh it out. You begin to not flesh it out, baby, maybe, but you start creating. Sorry, I'm a dad of 4 boys, and I'm thinking of my kids sometimes. You start to create a skeleton around what you're doing, and that's what this is. That's what the frame is, and then from there, you started fleshing it out. You started adding flesh to it. Basically, in other words, you start create, and that's execution and prototype. So the fastest way to test an idea is to create a draft or a prototype. Don't aim for perfect, aim for progress. I think a great book that has helped me in light of this idea and this thought, and maybe you've read it. If not, I think it'd be a good book for you to start reading. It's Ready, Fire, Aim. And it's basically about what happens is that people work on their business rather than in their business. And we work on, and I think for years I was stuck there. I'm like, okay, I have to create all the the process, the payment processes on the back end. I got to create the website. I got to do, but what I'm doing is I'm not actually testing what I think people want or think people need. And so what this is is for you to be quicker to launch, quicker to send the draft and the prototype, because at that point you throw it out there, you test it, you put it out there, and you refine it, you make it better, even if it's smaller steps. I mean, I'm going to give you the biggest example of a company that does this, and you probably have that product right now, and it's your iPhone. Your iPhone, they've been doing that since the first version. Every single year they're taking it, and they're either, the earlier years it was like revolutionary because every year felt like it was a brand new phone altogether. Maybe this year it's just a few minor changes internally more than they are externally. If you saw the video from Apple or saw their conference and so on, now they're making just minor tweaks, try to make it a little bit better. There's only so much you can do with the phone now. Again, I think we're going to be blown away in the days or years to come when somebody revolutionizes phones altogether. So that's a great example right there. It's that they have a product, they put it out there, and it was like, man, it's revolutionary because there was nothing like it, and they were first to put it on the market. They beat BlackBerry at the time in that type of way with no buttons and all this stuff. And it's like, man, what the heck is this, right? And after that, they just started adding and refining and making it better and better and better and better. And now we have what we have right now with our iPhones. So again, create a draft one-page version of your idea. If it's content, do that. If it's, and again, be quick to capture it also when it comes to your creation and your idea. There are so many apps now on the phone to help you capture your ideas. And simply put, if you've ever watched anything from Gary Vee, immediately bring the camera out and record yourself, because you're going to forget. And I've done that so many times. I'm probably in a meeting or I'm driving and I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. Like maybe I should record that. And I just forget. I don't write it down. I don't record it. And then I'm like, man, what was I thinking? Because sometimes those ideas are gold and we miss out on the idea. So create a draft of one-page version, or the draft of your video, the draft of your audio, recording the audio if it's a podcast that you're creating. And by doing that, you're creating a mock-up, you're creating a script, or at least an outline now and a template within 24 hours. Be quick to it. Be quick to, for example, turning a product idea into a simple prototype for feedback. And 3D printers have made that possible for a lot of people, and just being able to, like, man, I wonder what a iPhone holder looks like this, and then people create it right away. And now stage 4, distribute, which is publishing and testing. So as soon as you go from the spark of the idea and you start planning it out, like, all right, this is what I need. And sometimes you might even skip that one and go straight into create because you want to capture it right away. The obvious thing next is to distribute, because you can't just create the thing and not put the thing out there. Your idea isn't real until it's in the world. Because if it's stuck on your phone, then guess what? It's just for you. It's just on your phone. It's just for you and your buddies if you show them. So publishing gives you validation and feedback. And the feedback is you can send it to people directly and be like, hey, can you give me your feedback on this? You can wait for people to write to you or comment on it. And again, so share your idea on a social platform, test it with a small audience or community, or example, posting a pilot version of your service on LinkedIn, and testing the waters, going out, like if it's a service, then reaching out directly to the people who you think might need the service that you're wanting to launch. And then if it's content, create the first draft, throw it out there so that you could be the first one to be out there if that's the one who's putting it out there first. Or just, send it directly to people. If it's content, if it's a podcast, if it's an audio recording, or if it's an idea, I'd be like, hey, I created this short podcast audio. Can you listen to it? Give me your feedback. I want to make it better, and so on. So you can already start doing that, or you can just put it out there, make it live. And always, I think it's even helpful sometimes to give the disclaimer that, hey, this is the first draft. This is rough. I'm gonna improve on it. I'm gonna make it better in the days to come. And after distributing, refining, and that's, you're going back. So now you're taking the feedback, you're taking and you're making new iterations, and you're taking that which people have given you, and you're like, okay, now I'm going to tweak this. I'm going to do this. People said they want this, or, people responded like this, and maybe this didn't come off good, whatever it might be. Feedback is fuel, and use it to improve your systems, content, and offers. Iteration makes your idea stronger. Again, be quick to launch. and then be quick to, I think I'm going to give you some scripture here, is be quick to listen and slow to speak, and just listen and take in the feedback, the comments, and that which people are saying for your things. So collect feedback from 3 to 5 people. Again, send it to people, or send your service idea to someone, to 3 to 5 people. And not just people you know, because I think for the most part, people you know are always going to be like, man, that's a great idea. You got to do it. Send it to somebody who you can send it. Here's how I've done it. Send it to 3 people you know who are in business or in that line of industry that you're thinking of, so they can give you some actual real feedback. And, sure, they'll celebrate you and be like, that's really awesome. Send it to one person that's in their circle and be like, hey, can you send this to someone, or can you send me someone who you think might like this? And then someone who you don't have in your circle, but you want to be in your circle, or to be a client of yours, to be like, hey, this is something I have. Like, whether it's, again, you can do that with content, you can do that with products, you can do that with services. An example is adjusting an online course outline based on student input. So if you're doing courses, somebody's saying, hey, like, I wish you had a little bit more on this, change that, go deeper on that. Because sometimes, again, the lie that we believe is, at least that I've believed for so many years at the beginning, is that if you build it, they will come. And like Alex Hormozi says, is that we don't have a product problem, we have an awareness problem. We have the eyes problem, the fact that people don't know us. People don't know who we are. And people might not know who you are, or your business, or your service. And you think that just putting one thing out there is going to be enough, or having a website. People don't know to go to your website unless you're telling them to go to your website, unless you're giving them a reason to go to your website. And finally, stage 6, scale. So systemize and replicate. So scaling means systematizing success, productize what works into templates, courses, or repeatable services. Again, so action steps, automate one step of your process, package your service into a repeatable offer. An example, turning your consulting process into a digital product. So if you're someone who consults, you can turn let's say the questions, the common questions, and turn that into a product, and take those frequently asked questions and turn it into an actual small digital ebook, whether it's something you sell as a low ticket item, or you give away as an opt-in for your email list, which you should be growing, by the way, finding ways to give value in creating that email list. And then also just finding ways to replicate it. Like, okay, now we're going to go back, and now we're going to start again. So now you could either recycle that idea and be like, all right, now we're going to spark the curiosity on that thing again. And how do I improve this? How do I take this and make this better? For example, this video right here is a great example of me going through this in real time with you. Just created it a few days ago, and now I'm walking it out in real time and realizing, man, I got to change a lot of things on here, add a little bit more, because, when I wrote it, it made sense. But now as I'm going through it on the video, this is why I'm doing this video, because I'm doing exactly what I'm telling you to do here. Is I'm testing it, I'm distributing it, I'm putting it out there, I'm making it live on several platforms right now, actually. So again, scale, and that scaling is taking it back and refining it and making it better, systemizing it. And then again, if you could take a content and be like, man, people really resonated with that content, make a free training, make a paid webinar, give away free samples to influencers if it's like clothing brand, or if it's your service, and be like, all right, I'm going to offer this, however it is that you want to offer your products to people, in a way, your service to people. Because, for example, one of the services that I'm working out with someone, a friend of mine, is how to productize content creation, and whether it be for YouTube or podcasts or B2B services, right here in our local area in Atlanta, Georgia. And lastly, next step. So it's your turn. So walk your next idea out with these 6 stages. It's the spark, the frame, create, and scale. So this flywheel will give you clarity, momentum, and compounding growth. That's my hope that it would do for you, as it's done for me. So start small, but keep spinning the wheel. Every turn makes you stronger. So want more tools and templates? You can follow me exactly on whatever platform that you're looking at this on right now in this moment. And I would love to see what it would look like for us to work together, or for you to ask me questions, and realizing how much this is blocking my face. But and let me know which one of these stages you're in, which one of these stages did not make sense, which one of these stages you're looking actually to get more information on, or give you more, a little bit of the backstory of the podcast that I just launched with, again, my friend who is a New York Times bestselling author, Nick Vujicic, and we can go deeper in some of those things. And I'm wanting your feedback, even on this off the cuff live training in those 6 stages of my creative business flywheel. So again, thank you so much for joining me today on this specific training, and I can't wait to hear from you in the comments or in my DMs if that's where you are, and I hope to see you on the next one.